You're being lied to about XRP, Casper, and some of your other favorite coins out there right now. There is no chance that these coins have the ability to be seeing 50x's, 100x's over this bull market. I went back to the data from the last bull market and I studied which coins were the most successful and what it was that drove their success. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what that key catalyst that no one talks about is, and we're going to use it to identify the next movers and shakers in this market. So hit that like button, and let's get into today's video. Now guys, let's take a little trip back in time to a couple of years ago and have a think about who were the top performers from the last bull market. And lots of you will be like, well, I made lots of money in this and that, but few coins performed better than Solana, Polygon, Axie Infinity, Gala Games, and probably a couple of others. Why on earth did this random selection of different crypto coins do really well? Well, it's not because they're all within the same narrative, because I think you'll agree that Solana's layer 1 and Polygon's layer 2, and, you know, GameFi, and Gala's gaming, and so is Axie Infinity. But it's actually because of something rather straightforward and simple. They were all in demand for one reason or another. And I don't mean demand just that some bloke on YouTube's chatting about them, telling you that they're amazing, but in demand for another reason. Now, back in the last bull market, for those of you who can remember, you would have known that Ethereum was sort of struggling a bit. Everyone needed to use the layer 1 to do really important, useful things like selling and buying NFT pictures of monkeys and lions and stuff, and also stuff around DeFi. But ultimately, we were pretty much aware that Ethereum wasn't working very well. It was incredibly expensive, incredibly slow, and that meant that NFT sales and things didn't work particularly well. However, Solana was a very good alternative to this at the time because obviously Solana's much faster and much cheaper, and whilst it's not that decentralized, I think people still used it because, to be honest, when you're trading your NFTs and things like that, you don't really care that the blockchain you're using isn't that decentralized. You're more keen on being able to actually actively trade as fast and as cheaply as possible. Polygon also came about, solving a big issue on Ethereum by building a layer 2 on top of it. And therefore, these projects pretty much got put into use straight away, and people were then actively using the networks. Axie Infinity, Gala Games, they started to onboard players. Players started to buy the tokens to interact with the different games and bits and pieces, and they played with an old economic model which pretty much drives the pricing of every single cryptocurrency out there. So why am I picking on XRP and Casper? Well, nothing personal against these coins, but I just want to address something because I know lots of people are really hyped up and excited and heavily invested in a number of tokens out there. Casper, XRP has been one for a while, and also ICP getting a load of attention, and same with Render. And actually, I had a similar feeling about ICP until yesterday, and I made a video yesterday about this massive breakthrough that's just happened with ICP and with the introduction of neural networks. Very, very key, very, very important to move ICP away from just a hype project into a hype plus utility project. Now, XRP and Casper obviously have the idea of utility. People are very excited about the idea of the utility that these projects are going to bring. But the main reason we've seen so much growth in Solana right now is because of what? This is derivatives, total value locked, on Solana. Look at it. And it's gone absolutely crazy. So whether you like this project or don't like this project, or it's not decentralized enough for you and all these other bits and pieces, you can't deny the fact that people are actively starting to use it. We can also look at this. Solana leads with 49% of interest in blockchain ecosystems. Now, this is not a pro Solana video, okay? Solana's obviously already boomed. We've talked about it a lot. I'm not getting at that. What I'm pointing out, though, is the fact that as market share has shifted away from Ethereum towards the likes of Solana because of NFTs and meme coin trading and all sorts of other bits and pieces, you will start to realize that there's one thing that's more important than anything else in crypto, and it's this. No project out there can pump on hype and excitement alone. Which is actually kind of a lie, because meme coins do that. But they don't last for very long, okay? That mania comes in, and it goes insanely fast, and then it basically disappears, and then maybe it comes around again, maybe it doesn't. But we're not talking about meme coins, right? We're talking about likes of Casper and others. Now, Casper has done well in capturing the attention of lots of people and lots of excitement. And fundamentally, that does drive and help this project that had a very good year last year. But it does seem to be slowing in momentum, whereas other projects out there are building in momentum. And as we look at the XRP chart, I mean, one of the least exciting projects by price action that we may have ever seen. Now, I know we're waiting for the court case to settle and all these other things, and then, you know, once it's real, everyone's going to be trading and sending money all over borders everywhere else. There's a very good reason it's damn difficult for you and I to send money cross-border. And it's because the governments and the banks and everyone else don't really like it. And you're like, well, yeah, but it's decentralized. They don't have control of us. They do, and they will continue to have more and more control after this bull market, because already a number of exchanges are being shut down in the UK. A lot of them have already been shut down in the US. It's going to get harder and harder, and projects like XRP, in my opinion, are going to struggle to get out of this, because I find it hard to see how it's going to get out of being under strict scrutiny and regulation. Now, if I haven't upset you enough so that, you write your little mean comment down below and you're not really paying attention, or, you've already finished your mean comment, then pay attention to this. Supply and demand is the simplest theory that explains the price action of anything in crypto. Now, there are a few different factors within crypto, because I've been told I can't say bits and pieces anymore, because apparently I use that too often. According to the last comment section, the factors include, and in various different volumes of which, hype and excitement. Hype and excitement is important, I think you'll agree. When someone talks about something and makes it sound exciting and really wonderful, like GameFi projects, people get excited about them. Pretty colors, big names, things that we all understand very simply. It's easy to get the hype and excitement behind things like gaming. And hype and excitement plays a big part because it causes a surge in the value of projects. The sandbox in the last bull market had a valuation per active user of $22,400. Bonkers, right? Google has a value per person of $444, which is pretty much more reasonable. And what that tells us is that crypto projects get incredibly overinflated in value, which is why there will always be a crazy bull market and always be a crazy bear market, or at least this time round, at least, for crypto projects. But the hype and excitement alone isn't enough to drive growth in some of these. We need something else that's going to take those tokens out of the market. Simply put, utility, okay? A utility token that you've been told has the utility to do something, like used on a network like Casper or whatever else, is great. It's a nice idea, but until it actively gets used and taken out of the system, it doesn't do anything to the supply and demand model. You see what I mean? I could have the best and most exciting, most wonderful product in the world, but if people don't use it, then it's not going to be worth anything. And simply supply and demand, right? So we need something that's going to pull tokens out of a product's supply at the same time that you have all the hype and excitement and attention, which is difficult to get in crypto, okay? Because lots of people who are very good at creating a very good and exciting product might not be so good at like the marketing stuff. And on the other side of things, you sometimes get people who are really good at business and really excited to kind of drive this crypto project forward, but they don't really have a very good product because they were never really prepared for that. So where we have a crossover between people who know what they're doing and people who have good business acumen, or at least able to hire advisors and team members who can drive that side of things, it's very important. And previously, for example, the likes of ICP, etc., have been doing some pretty crazy things, but you had to kind of delve into their information and get down the depths of all this kind of like complex information that wasn't really particularly easy to understand for people. But now it seems they're making an effort to kind of make it more understandable. And as that happens, the hype and attention grows. At the same time, they're delivering products that are actually starting to look very, very promising indeed. And this is so important. This is Render, a token that has been a top performer over the last sort of year or so. Not many coins have blown past their previous all-time highs towards this level. It's almost doubled at times its previous all-time highs. Why has Render been able to do this, whereas other coins are still sat down here? Well, it is partly helped by the kind of big boom around AI and also around kind of deep in and compute network demands. And guess what? It's those compute network demands that are playing a big part in Render's success, because you can see these are the number of jobs created for scene rendering and other bits and pieces, and it's been going up over time consistently. At the same time, the crypto bull market is gaining more momentum and gaining more excitement. So it's a working product that's actively making money, that's having tokens taken out of supply because people need to buy them and use them to utilize the network. And this ultimately affects the supply and demand model. If there's not enough tokens available and more people want them, the price will go up. Cash has seen some crazy growth recently. Look at this demand for GPU capacity, GPU active leases, and things like that. And that's why Cash looks like this right now. So the thing that we got to be very careful about, when you hear an idea and an exciting prospect about what's happening, I think realistically, we've got around 12 months, tops, left of this bull market. Now, who knows what happens after that? Okay, maybe it's less time, maybe it's more time, maybe I'm wrong, But in the next 12 months, if the project that you like or you're investing in heavily and you're like, wow, this is such an amazing thing, isn't going to be able to get itself a live functioning product that's going to start driving demand for the services that it's offering, and it's just like, you know, you can go and look at the roadmap and it's like Q3 2026 is when it's going to be rolling out this thing or that thing, then I think there's a need to have a little bit of caution. We get caught up in this excitement and idea of a certain project being able to deliver a certain thing, but unless it's really actively doing it right now or has the potential to be doing it very soon, and ICP has literally just kind of made the shift from not appearing to do sort of very much to suddenly being like, wow, we've just created one of the most exciting like things or breakthroughs of this entire bull market, in my opinion, then I think some of these projects are not going to reach the potential that people are talking about. And I can show you this time and time again. This is Arweave. Look, 1.14 million users are actively using Arweave. Arweave now has 300,000 new wallets with more than one transaction on Arweave over the last 30 days. So yeah, it's people creating new wallets, but also it's people actually using Arweave actively for storage. Because guess what? The traditional storage and things available on Amazon Web Services, on Google Cloud and other things are too expensive. And there's a big demand for this particular service, which is why Arweave and Filecoin have been looking pretty good. And we brought attention to this back on the channel, back in like November times after we had this sort of breakout disbelief phase bull market. Right now, you know, Arweave's been pretty exciting. Still has great upside potential. Filecoin started to gather steam, but still way off the pace of the likes of Arweave. That's one of the most exciting looking charts I've seen when it comes to crypto. And you're like, well, this is far more exciting looking. It is, but the opportunity at that stage is gone. Guys, I think crypto has become very straightforward. Whenever you see a new project or a new kind of idea, be like, yeah, okay, cool. Who's using it? Show me the stats of who's using it. How do I find the stats? Here are some stats. Go to DeFiLlama.com. DeFiLlama is a very useful tool. And lots of these tools are now in existence. These are the tools I use as the lazy investor. Okay, easy. DeFiLlama.com, free. I'm not associated with this project. It's free. Why would they pay me to make a video about them being free? You can come and look at the DEX volumes. You can see all the kind of like volumes and things that are going on right now. You can go and look at Ethereum. You can go and compare Ethereum to, say, Avalanche. And you can see that once Avalanche's like volume starts to pick up on the DEXs and things like that, it means people are actively trading Avalanche tokens. And if people are actively trading Avalanche tokens, they're paying in Avalanche fees, and they need to use Avalanche fees in order to do that, which is always very beneficial, okay? And that's why if you come down below, in the weekly change, Trader Joe is up 81%, okay? So the Avalanche ecosystem right now is blowing up. This is crazy. Okay, but that's because the volume's all gone up. So you can use DeFiLlama. You can go through some of the different chains here. You can see Polygon's not doing much. You can see Ethereum is not really doing much. Optimism has been kind of performing quite strongly throughout. And if it suddenly starts to see a bit of a spike in action, maybe it's a time to go and pay attention to Optimism. You can use other tools like June.com, which I've told you before. When you come across the coin you like, just go to June.com. For example, we're just going to look at Render. You can type in Render, and you can see you can come down to different Render ones. Here, Render Trade Volume. This one is what we're looking at right now. And you can come down to, this is Elvis Wang, and you can come down below, and you can see all of the kind of action going on in Render right now. Monthly rendered scenes. Look at the spike in rendered scenes. This is when? Suddenly, the 4th of April last year. 4th of April last year, around here. Look at this spike. You know, people start to pay attention. Yeah, then crypto gets a pullback, Bitcoin goes down a bit, and then, you know, as crypto and people start to get back in the market, Render, which continues to grow more users, grows exponentially larger and larger. So June.com, a great free website again that you can use. You have to set up a little sign up thing. Okay, it's free, but it is a bit buggy. Okay, so try different browsers if it's not working for you. Try different email addresses. You'll figure it out eventually. It's well worth having. Another one I like to play with is Token Terminal. Again, lots of these tools are like a little bit tricky to understand, but play around with them, okay? You can use these tools to really gain a bit more of an understanding of what's going on. Because a lot of the information you're being fed is wrong. It's then been regurgitated by other people who are then adding their own spin on like stories and things like that. And then you end up with a confused message at the end. And using Token Terminal, we can then come down below and we can start to select different parts. If I click here on exchanges, you'll see it's DEX or decentralized exchanges. You can see that, you know, Uniswap getting like lots of hype and attention early March. And suddenly if we turn off Uniswap, then we can see the next one that's kind of like looking very interesting is this pink one, which suddenly dips towards the downside and then suddenly spikes back up. Trader Joe. There's another one called Aerodrome, which I've never even heard of. You can see PancakeSwap starting to look more utilized and used. These are why these are gaining a volume. There's so many different ways in which you can understand whether or not projects are actually using their tokens and people are actively using their projects. or not. Guys, if you want to join me for more deep dives and learn stuff that people aren't telling you in crypto, my aim right now is to take you, whoever you are, at whatever level, and try and teach you and tell you all this information that I've got from spending hours and hours of my life literally sat in front of a computer doing this kind of stuff. And by no means am I a master, okay? But I guarantee if you can start to use some of these tools, you're going to put yourself in that absolute kind of alpha role, which is a very small gap of people who were really like taking it upon themselves to upscale themselves. Also, I recommend that you get into the free Telegram, which is linked down below, and you can connect with other people and share different resources in order to be able to find some of these different tools. There's lots of people in there asking lots of different questions all the time, all sorts of different levels, and you can also find out about different projects and other kind of sneak peeks into the House of Crypto and other things that are going on. Now, I'm pleased to say that today's video is in partnership with My Lovely Planet, and the current is in a pre-sale, which is just about to finish. And I'm quite interested in My Lovely Planet, mainly because the developers came from Candy Crush and other games like Battle Royale. These are games that have made over billions of dollars in revenue over the last few years. It's backed by Ubisoft and Unity, which are two of the biggest names in gaming. They basically created a game that has already more than 30,000 players. Remember what I was saying about supply and demand models? This is a game that's already working. I've literally got it on my phone and I've been playing it already. There's going to have a token that's going to be added to the game in order to be able to upgrade your skills and other bits and pieces within the game. Think about how Candy Crush makes money, very similar way. Now, another thing that's cool about this project is they're working to protect the environment. Effectively, every time you plant a tree in the game, they're hoping to plant a tree in real life, pull plastic out of the ocean, and increase biodiversity. Now, this is something I'm interested in, as someone who likes to spend lots of time in the great outdoors, but more importantly, allows them to onboard a customer at around 8 cents per person. In contrast, it costs Candy Crush something like 90 cents to onboard one person, and this is potentially hugely more profitable than Candy Crush was. Think about the potential this offers. Now, guys, you can go and check out the game, go and check out the website. It's linked down below in the description. You can see they also already have 500,000+ followers on TikTok. They already have me as a partner, and a bunch of other YouTubers are also partnered with this project. Now, if you are so interested in getting into the ICO, then you can see that it's available at 9.2 cents, and it will launch at 10 cents in April. Also, if you use the code HOUSEOFCRYPTO, it will get you an additional 10% in tokens. This means that when it launches, you're potentially already up 8% on this, but also with the additional 10%, maybe you're up around 18%, but obviously things are subject to change. In my opinion, it's a pretty exciting project, bearing in mind it has an active working product already, good team, good marketing plan, and is also in the mobile gaming niche, which is incredibly important because it means access to a broader audience. Now, if you want to buy it, obviously go and check it out, do your research, don't just buy it because I've talked about it. Hit the buy now. And then all you need to do is hit this orange button. It will take you across to the next page. You can add your House of Crypto code. You can pay either in crypto or MasterCard or whatever. And it's all very straightforward. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed and you want to hear some more kind of different information, hopefully with a touch of tongue-in-cheek and XRP army abuse, then subscribe. And I'll see you in the very next video. Bye-bye.